Hikaru, how are you feeling after that game?
Yeah, I mean, it was a strange game. As I was saying before, I thought I was probably much better out of the opening. I suspect the computer's going to say it's like +1 or something, but I just couldn't find a plan, and then I started drifting.
Which moment did you feel like you started drifting?
I thought this whole position after Queen E2 has just got to be like really, really good for white, but I couldn't figure it out somehow.
Okay, so around when you went, so first H4 has been a pretty good move for you in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, I was confused because I was expecting King F7, and then Jan just started playing Knight C4, Rook C6, delayed forever, and I just thought, okay, why not just play for a concept? I thought it was quite strong, actually, but yeah, this is all normal. Just keep going. Yeah, Knight D7.
Knight D7, yep. You went C4.
Yeah, I mean, this is, yeah, Knight H7.
So the first thing was, this was all planned, presumably, this pawn sack?
I mean, when I played H4, H5, my whole concept was to move the knight from C3 and just do some setup. I didn't actually see this idea with Knight H7. I thought the knight might go back to F8, but I missed this whole Knight H7, G5. But, you know, when I was looking at C4, I'm just like, okay, I'll just play it anyway. I mean, this looks so good for white, but... Oh, maybe I'm wrong, actually. Interesting. Huh. So it's actually not great. So I actually misevaluated this whole position. Because I thought that after Bishop B2 and Knight G6, it just looks very, very strong for white. But maybe it's not.
Yeah, so at the board, you were feeling really confident about your position at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I just looking at the knight, looking at the piece play, no pawn breaks in the center. I figure at some point something's going to happen with F4 or something, even like Rook D1 and Bishop A3 later. Huh, okay, so the computer actually doesn't like it, though. That's interesting. Because I just felt like, I mean, maybe earlier I don't do this, but this time I'm like, okay, I don't see any reason it's bad. Intuitively, I think I'm better, so there's no reason not to just play this gambit where I give up the pawn at E4. But, okay, that's fairly surprising then. So maybe I just actually I misevaluated everything that's going on here. I thought I was just playing like a brilliant computer with this knight on G6. Because, you know, there are a lot of positions nowadays where the computers will just sack pawns and they'll say, like, if you have like a great knight or you've got a great bishop, you're just better, if not winning long term. So it's a little surprising, actually. But yeah, I just couldn't find a plan after King G8, and I thought Rook D1 was right. And then Knight G4, I think, is just a stupid move on move 23.
Okay, so King G8 here, and you said Knight G4 was bad?
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it's okay. I don't know.
So I guess to kind of unpack this for everybody, because the engine can just tell us what the evaluation is. You know, did you first come into today thinking that may not had to win, but that's what you were really pushing for?
I mean, I wasn't sure. I thought Jan would have some sense and play the Petrov, but then he didn't play the Petrov, so all bets are off when he chooses to play the Najdorf. I mean, I didn't really understand his choice. So once he did that, then I was going to play, of course. And I would say once I played this Knight F3 and he didn't play Bishop or actually after Bishop E7 H3 on move 8, when he started thinking, then I'm like, okay, at least we're going to play a game. And yeah, I mean, I just felt like I had to be much better, but maybe it was just me being too optimistic. I don't know, like, because normally I'm the other way. Normally when I think you have more material, it's actually better for that side. But I was just very optimistic. And yeah, I think when I played somewhere like this Knight G4 again, like, because I thought I had something, and then I used this time, I couldn't find a clear way to like play F4 or anything concrete. And I mean, I thought Bishop D8 was a good move, and I couldn't figure it out here.
Yeah, and it says it's pretty level, right, about even. But Daniel,
yes, yeah,
you know.
Yeah, we thought the moment when B5 Bishop A3 happened was really critical because Jan played D5. Did that surprise you at all? Were you expecting a quick B4?
Well, it was like the Ali Reza game. Like when I took on F6 and he started thinking, I'm like, wait a second, he's going to take the pawn.
Right.
When Jan started thinking he didn't play B4 right away, it's like, wait a second, he's probably going to play D5. And funny thing is, the first time that I thought he might play it, I immediately saw it takes Rook C2, Bishop D6. While he was thinking, and then after like another 10 minutes, he did it, which I was just shocked by. Yeah, I mean, what do I do instead of Bishop A3 though? Because I mean, already I'm much worse, right?
Yeah, no, he's started consigning.
Yeah,
so very accurately.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Somehow I thought it was good, and then after Knight G4 and Rook D2, it all goes wrong immediately. Yeah, I mean, I thought he would play B4, and when he didn't, I was shocked. And then once he played D5, I mean, that's just a bit of a lucky break that I have Bishop D6 here. And I mean, I think it's probably still okay for Black, but I mean, I think he thought it. I don't know. Can you go back a move? Can I just see this position? If I don't have Bishop D6, am I still okay? Rook C2. Yeah, but if I don't have Bishop D6, I guess Queen F3 is somehow okay.
It gets wild in that line.
Yeah, but basically, I think the thing is he thought for so long to play D5 because he thought he was much better. And then as soon as I go bishop d6, it's like, wait, what's happened? And so the shift there and the fact that he wasn't low on time, but he only had like 15 minutes mentally, I think it's very, very upsetting, and he just couldn't keep it together here.
And then how about at this moment when you went d6 and he didn't take your rook on d3?
But because there's this long line with rook a8, which might be a draw, right? Yeah, I saw this during the game, and I wasn't sure, but I thought at worst it's a draw. Yeah, and rook a2, right? Rook a2, d7, rook a8, d8 takes a4, and then takes, I guess, and then bishop c7. And I thought, okay, worst case this is a draw, right?
Yeah, I think maybe rook d7 first, but similar.
Yeah, I knew there had to be some way to draw this at least. I wasn't sure if there was a win, but I knew that I'm not going to lose this. And so once I knew that I wasn't going to lose this, I'm just like, okay, I'll do it. And he played knight d7 right away, which I actually expected because, I mean...
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think like he was getting low on time. He's already very disgusted with everything. I mean, he was doing as usual. You could tell. Like,
right.
I mean, the number of times in this turn when Jan's like been shaking his head or put his hand up in the air like that, it's just like, so many times. So I expected knight d7. I didn't think he would take on d3 because he was already so disgusted. I think he also didn't realize, though, how bad it is after knight d7. I think if he used a bit more time, he might have realized. Because the problem is he's just like positionally lost, right. Even with what he got in the game, which is probably the best with the bishop on b6.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people who sit and watch you super grandmasters play, in the candidates, they see the eval bar go up and down. But as we're talking about here, like this position looks very scary for black because with the bishop coming around, there's all sorts of checkmate threats. So do you think that he assessed this position? I assume he probably was calculating something like this, but he assessed it as winning for white?
Yeah, I don't think he used a lot of time. And again, I think because of how upset he was mentally because of what he had done not playing b4, I think he just couldn't recover. And so he played the obvious move, and he didn't even use much time. I think he used like 20 seconds. Yeah. It was not a lot of time. So I expected it. I wasn't that surprised. But yeah, it's just lost, unfortunately, because it's this great knight and this passed pawn. I mean, even what I did, I don't think is best. I suspect there's a cleaner way to win.
No,
you still,
really like King H2.
You played perfectly.
Okay.
King H2 was great.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's just the problem is there's no counterplay. I mean, at least in the game against Fabiano, there was some chance for Fabiano to complicate, but here it's just I can do nothing like I did in the game. Just go f3, King H3, Rook C1, just take it very, very slow, and there's just nothing he can really do. So, I mean, it was just, it's a difficult game for sure for Jan Christos.
So you've got Ding tomorrow with black. It's a big game. Second place is on the line. How are you feeling going into that game?
Yeah, I mean, the tournament's been a success regardless of tomorrow. So, I mean, we'll see. It's been fun playing against these players. I mean, I've been pretty competitive, so I can't complain overall. But yeah, to have won today and sort of just be able to just give it my all tomorrow with draw odds is obviously very nice. Although, I mean, to be frank again, just like everyone else on the planet, I don't really think second place is gonna matter in the bigger picture. But nonetheless, I'm happy with my play. So just one more game, and we'll see if I can do well.
Yeah, and even if second place doesn't ultimately result in a world championship match, coming into this event, right? You did win the Grand Prix to get here. Mm-hmm. Not so many games played though, so to prove yourself over 14 rounds consecutively against such strong opposition. You've been here before. It's not your first rodeo. Mm-hmm. You were number 2 in the world at some point, over 2,800. But it must feel good to show yourself, but also everyone, that the best isn't necessarily behind you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said this on my stream many times. I had one goal coming into this tournament. That was basically play well and essentially not sort of commit like let's just say self-harm, so I don't want to use certain words. But basically, I felt like when I played in 2016, I didn't sleep well, I didn't play well. I thought a lot of my issues were because I was just a little bit too serious, perhaps, and put too much pressure on myself. In this event, I had one goal, which is just play good chess, and if I play good chess, I'll be happy. And I think I've played pretty good chess throughout the event, so it's been a success. I not to speak poorly about some of the players here, but I do think the game against Levon that I won that I won against him in the 4th round of that Berlin Grand Prix. I mean, that game was. I mean, that game I think to me is worth more than any of my wins here, if I'm being quite frank. So I'm very, very proud of that win. But nonetheless, to play 13 games so far and to be holding my own, it's just it's gravy basically. So I'm just it's a success regardless of tomorrow, and I'm just very happy overall.
Would you say that one of the things that defines your success and maybe contributes to some of the other players' disappointing experience is the fact that you almost enjoy the experience of playing more?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said this before. I think a lot of people have kind of not listened to what I've said because they assume I'm just making stuff up on my stream. But I mean, the problem with this tournament, and in terms of why you saw pretty much everybody melt away, is that it's the only tournament where you can't really play, let's just say, your style. If you get behind, if there's someone running away with it, you have to start taking risks. You have to start really changing it up, and so because of that, there's a lot more pressure. Whereas, like, for example, if Fabiano is on +2 and Jan's on +5, and let's just say it's like a Grand Chess Tour or something, still 14 rounds, but normal prizes, no special prize at the end for the winner. I mean, Fabiano doesn't melt down the way that he does here. He keeps playing his game, maybe wins a game here, a game there, picks up his 10 points, feels very good about himself, and it's all great. But yeah, in this event where you have to take chances and there's a lot of pressure on everybody, it's much different. Whereas for me, it's fun, and I am going to miss it, I have to say. I mean, especially after today, towards the end of this game, I was thinking like it's a little bit sad because it's back to the real world in a couple of days for me. But it's been great, and I think not having the pressure, just playing and enjoying it. Playing without the pressure makes a world of difference in the candidates for sure.
And you've been on vacation from streaming, and somebody else who's on a vacation, Anish Giri. Did you see him in the playing hall, and was that a distraction for you?
Yeah, he popped in for like 5 seconds. I think that was actually it was move 40. I think it was a critical moment when he popped in for 5 seconds. Yeah, it's just I know there's something bizarre about seeing Anish in there with his son. It's just bizarre. I mean, time flies. I guess that's all I can say. It wasn't distracting. It was just surprising to see because I don't think he's ever been in a tournament with his son, so it was a surprise. But yeah, it's just time flies, I guess.
His son's now a sensation. He sat in Donna's chair. He came on the broadcast. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a
Wow.
good time up in the studio.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's surprising. I mean, to see. I think there are a lot of people who I thought would have qualified for the candidates who didn't. Anish is one of them. Wesley, Levon, etc. But it's tough to qualify, and even for Anish, he had his chance, but he couldn't get out of the groups in that third Grand Prix. So it's tough. But I think everyone who's been here, they deserve to be in this tournament. There's a reason they're here. Timur, everyone's busy saying he doesn't belong, and then picks up that win against me, picks up that win against Ding, 2 very nice victories for him. So it's what it is.
Yeah, and well, we're gonna have some featured chat questions for you, Hikaru,
sure.
here. We know how much you like to get
Absolutely.
involved in chat, so I just read the instructions. Ask, how often do you think of chat during your games?
Not so much, I have to say. I mean, normally I'm just focused on the game. I mean, once the game is like kind of clear, like this game, for example, somewhere around the time we played Bishop D2, Bishop C3, my mind was drifting towards like Twitch and all that stuff, just thinking about it, but not all that much during the game, especially when it's critical. But once it's clear cut, whatever the result's going to be, once it's clear cut, I do start thinking again about interviews, recaps, all that jazz.
Yeah. Well, our next question here, another great one coming in from the chat is: are you excited to keep on playing over the board after this? I think you kind of answered that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I have my tournaments pretty much lined up for the next year, it looks like. So we'll see. I mean, I'll probably be playing Tata still and probably Norway chess, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, I think I'll enjoy playing. But I do have to say, I think that one thing I've learned from this hiatus for sure is that when you're playing all these events like the Grand Chess Tour week after week for months on end, I think it's very hard to stay motivated to enjoy the game. I think like Vichy is also a good example of that, where he hadn't played in a long time. And so I think because of that, when he played in Norway, it was just very fresh. He was motivated, and it was a lot of fun to play. And so I think, I mean, finding that balance is important. I'll still obviously play over the board without a doubt, but I mean, I do stream as well, so it'll be a mix.
Yep. And one more question. Yep, Don, this is all you.
All right, I'm excited. Can Hikaru say, this has been an ongoing trend, can Hikaru say,
You got to look into this one
amigos?
here.
But I don't understand, what is the joke about it? I'll say it, but what's the joke?
So at the start of the show, Danny has his whole script, and he says "mis amigos," and then Richard did it,
Okay.
Anish has done it, Jan did it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, to everyone out there, mis amigos.
I think this is a part of a compilation that will be put together.
Yeah, I mean,
Makes
it's just been a fun thing, and the chat goes crazy every time at the start of the show.
Okay.
Where it gets to that part, they start just.
Okay, so it's one of those memes that I just haven't seen.
You're no stranger to the chat going crazy over.
Yeah, okay,
certain
so it's
things.
just one of those memes that I haven't seen, so I've been too busy with the tournament.
Yeah, you've been.
You'll find out about it when you stream next time.
Okay.
I guess I have just one question for you, and much has been made of this: the knockout format versus the double round robin. So, I mean, Anish came in here, so to just give you some context, Anish said that everyone who answers this question has some bias. If you feel like you do better in knockouts, you probably prefer that format. But you have taken a hiatus from chess, and you're doing well in this. You do well in knockouts. So I guess the question has to be: is for the Candidates Tournament, do you prefer the KO system, the knockouts, or this double run robin?
Very tough. I mean, I think there are benefits to both. Obviously, for me, I think I would prefer a knockout format. I think I'm better in matches generally. I think I'm very, very solid with black, and I pick up a game here or there with white. Whereas I'm generally not going to put up like a huge score the way Jan did, for example. So I would obviously personally prefer knockouts, but that being said, I think there's something to be said for the fact that it's a very long tournament. You play everybody 2 times, and I think objectively the 14 rounds, just the fact that you have to stay in shape, you can't really ever slip, makes me think that probably from the double round robin you have a more deserving winner objectively. So I probably think that overall I'd prefer the double round robin, even though for me personally the knockout is better.
Wow, it's very selfless of you.
Well, I mean, again, I think that's the thing. For me, it's not really, these days, it's not really about what is going to favor me the most. I could use another example where I think that, just to talk about an event on chess.com, the Rapid Chess Championship. I mean, I think the reason that I've qualified for the knockout every single week is because we play without increment. And like if you look at this tournament, for example, that's another big thing is I think having the event with increment versus without increment has changed several results throughout the event. So for me, like it's not about what's best for me. I think it's just about objectively what's best for the event. And I think I like the 14 rounds more, but I do think that if you're gonna have the candidates without increment, you have to have the other events without increment, or you have to have all the events with increment and this event with increment as well. Because I think that I will just say I think for Fabiano playing without increment, I mean, hurt him immensely. I mean, the couple times that he got really low on time without the increment, he made blunders, and I think with increment, for Fabiano it would have been better. So I think you have to pick one or the other on the time control as well.
Well, thank you, Hikaru. We really appreciate your insight. Congratulations on the win today. We'll let you go rest and prepare for your last round tomorrow.
Great. Thank you, guys.